Hi friends, welcome to Crack Grade B. We are back with yet another very important lecture on continuation of the Phase 2 current affairs material that we bring out to you on every second day, right? So this is the news from 2nd November and 3rd November 2021. So as you all know that we have been covering news from the month of September. So all news that are important for your Phase 2, for example, like NABARD, RBI and SEBI, right? We all cover this. So the sources that we cover for someone who is watching new for the first time, for them it's PIB, the Indian Express, the Hindu, okay, Business Standard, Mint, and uh, Down to Earth, right? So these are some of the sources, but we do follow other sources as well, right, to bring out the most important material that requires for your objective examination as well as descriptive, right? So let's begin with the first news article, that is GST collection for the month of October 2021. Now see, are a type of news that are not important because every month there are collections, there are some of the other data. But for the month of October 2021, what sets this apart is that this is the second highest ever since the introduction of GST, right? It's 1.30 lakh crore. It's 24% higher than GST revenue in the same month last year, 36% above 1920. Okay, so this does shows that the economy is in uptrend, right? Let's move to the next news article, that is India and World Bank signs agreement, right? So Government of India plus Government of Meghalaya plus the World Bank signed a 40 million health projects. See, this is one of the important keyword because this is about the health project, right? And since you all know from the time of budget, the health has been on the priority sector. I mean, the health has been on the priority place to invest for the government. Because of COVID-19, the government across the world, okay, the government across the world have learned the importance of investing in health sector, right? So yes, so in line with the world leaders, even the Indian leaders have lately noticed it, okay, and realized the importance of health. So that's why this news is very important. For the state of Meghalaya, it is not important. So project will improve the quality of health service where in the state of Meghalaya. Strengthen the state capacity to handle future health emergencies, including the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so this is very important step towards the northeast because you see from rest of the India, you see the northeastern states are scenic beauty. The tourism is good, but apart from that, the development is not on the higher note. But this government, right, is focusing on the NER as well, northeastern sides of India as well, right? So the Meghalaya Health System and Strengthening Project, this will known as Meghalaya Health System and Strengthening Project, will enhance the management and governance capability of the state and its health facilities. All the 11 districts of Meghalaya is covered. So this project will enhance all the health scheme that is being run by the government of Meghalaya. You may pause the video and read through it, right? So let's move to the next news article, that is Government of India constitutes 20-member EGUS. What is EGUS? It's empowered group of secretaries. So I hope you have watched that PM Gati Shakti video on our YouTube channel. So consider this video and as the continuation of that video. Right. So this is a part of your current affairs. So that's why, and this is something very small. So we didn't find it, reliable to make a separate video. So this is the important thing that you should know, that the government of India had constituted a 20-member panel. Cabinet secretary will be the chairperson. Okay. And apart from the cabinet secretary, there would be 18 group of ministers plus one the cabinet secretary and plus one the logistic division head will act as a you know will act as a secretary to uh, that group of empowered group of secretaries, right? So there has to be someone who coordinate between all them, and that is the logistic division will act as a secretary. So this forms the 20-member team, and that is known as EGOS team for PM Gati Shakti implementation, right? So this is something that you can see the top layer of the PM Gati Shakti teams, right? Then there will be technical support group. Okay, so that is something different thing to discuss, but here let's stick to the current affairs only, right? So let's move further and let's see the terms of reference. So this is the terms of reference that has been given. Okay, so this is not that important that you will have to remember it, but yes, give it a read twice and thrice, because I expect a question regarding Gati Shakti in your descriptive paper. So you cannot afford to miss, because this will give you a good number of lines to write, and it's not only lines, it's meaningful lines. That is important, right? Okay. So let's move to the next news article, that is, sorry, Bhasha Sangam initiative for school. Bhasha Sangam means something is related to language. Let's read. Language learning to promoted as skill with a formal credit earning system, said Union Education and Skill Development Minister Sri Dharmendra Pradhan launched Bhasha Sangam initiative for schools. And apart from this, Bhasha Sangam mobile app and Ek Bharat Shreshth Bharat quiz app is also launched. Right? Why? To commemorate Rashtriya Ekta Divas, which is celebrated on October 31st every year to mark the birth anniversary of Shri Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Okay, the Iron Man of India. Then, Bhasha Sangha is an initiative of Ministry of Education under Ek Bharat Shreshth Bharat. Okay, now what is this about? This is about to teach basic sentence of everyday usage in 22 Indian languages. The idea is that people should acquire basic conversational skill in an Indian language other than their mother tongue. Right? Let's say my mother tongue is Bengali, but if I, you know, let's say if I go to South India and if I want to communicate and if I want to tell someone how are you, I should know that basic word how are you, because that is the first thing that we Indians ask each other after greeting. Okay, so how are you, or how is your work going on, how is your health, hope everything is fine, right? So this is about that, to teach the basic sentence of everyday usage in 22 Indian languages. How much? 22. This is most important, right? And the government is aiming at least 75 lakh people should acquire this skill during the Azadi Ka Mahotsav period. Okay, so if someone from you is interested in learning language, then this is a very good opportunity, right? Bhasha Sangam mobile app. Download this app and get your hand through it. Very good initiative by the government. Okay, let's move forward. COP26, India's commitment. Very important, right? So, very important. So, what India has committed. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the last Monday, so let's not read this, gave a first prolonged target for India and finally committed to net zero emission target by 2070. But a Prime Minister in his speech said about Panchamrit. Okay, Panchamrit is a Sanskrit word that means 5 types of Amrit. And this is the 5 target that India has committed, right? The Prime Minister has committed. Number one, our non-fossil capacity will touch 500 gigawatt, and 50% of our energy need will come from renewable energy sources from now to 2030. So very, very big terms. Okay. So non-fossil capacity will go up to 500 gigawatts. Currently, only 175 gigawatts it's there. Then, okay. So this is 50% of our energy need will come from the renewable sources. Target number one. Then target two, what is the target here? 2030. Don't get confused between 2030 and 70. Okay, for 2030, it was said about the 50% reduction, or 50% will come from the renewable energy sources. Then, number 2 point, the projected carbon emission will reduce by 1 billion tons, and our overall carbon intensity of the economy will see a 45% reduction. Number 2. Number 3, in line with the expectation from the US and UK, the India would be a net zero economy by 2070. Very big thing to know about, right? 2070, the expectation is net zero economy. Number 4, PM also upped the renewable energy target of 500 gigawatt by 2030. It was 450 gigawatt earlier. Okay. India's currently renewable energy capacity stands at 170 gigawatt, that we have already discussed in the point number 1. Number 5th, India's installed renewable capacity is the 4th in the world. So we have read this in other current affairs. So you already know this. In the last 7 years, our non-fossil fuel has been 25% growth. I've seen 25% growth, and the share of green energy is the mix reached 40%. So adding this, the fifth target is Indian Railway, means the national transporter or the biggest rail network of the world, has declared a net zero target year of 2030. Net zero means diesel engine, thermal engine. So there is no thermal engine as of now. Still, everything will go away. So it will become all electric. Okay. So, and maybe again, see, when I say it's all electric, you will have to think that where does this electricity come from? If it is coming from the thermal energy, then you cannot say that it's completely green. Why? Because you are not burning fuel here, you are burning somewhere else, right? So, yeah, you will have to think in this way. Okay. So if that electricity is again generated with the help of solar or with the help of any other means with the green energy or the renewable energy, then you can say yes, it has become net zero. So it is a testimony of time. Let us see how does that government says to plan. But you can say there will be an overhaul in the energy sector in the coming years. Okay. So let's see and understand what is net zero. What is net zero? So net zero is achieved when the amount of greenhouse gas produced is offset by the amount removed from the atmosphere. This entails no future investment in coal or fossil fuels and greening several industries and economies. Okay, some important points. India has the lowest per capita emission of the world's major economies, emitting 5% total despite the 17% of the world population. Means something good on terms of data, but the reality is something else. Obviously, depending on the size, depending on the people, number of population, the per capita will always be low, right? So, yeah. So, in terms of data, it seems good. It's actually not good for our future. So, this entails 60 million tons of emission reduction every year. Another 40 million tons emission reduction will come from our LED program. Means, and it's government scheme. Which government scheme? Write it in the comment section. The US has declared net zero by 2050, same as UK. China has set the target by 2060 and India 2070. Right? Let's move forward. Next news article, that is Agency Bank of Reserve Bank of India. So recently Bandhan Bank has been empowered by the RBI to act as an agency bank. So what happens when a bank becomes an agency bank? It can It can handle transactions that are related to state taxes, revenue receipts such as GST, VAT, collection of stamp duty, pension payment on behalf of government and state government. Okay, so this is good in terms of bank because they can expand their business. Then SEBI forms IT Project Advisory Committee. So SEBI has formed a committee, by which the committee it sees that the the committee is going to provide them the technical expertise regarding the IT solution. Okay, so this is being headed by Abhay, Kar- Karmadikar. Okay, so he is a director at IIT Kanpur, right? So, and also, this is part one of the news. Okay, this is part two of the news. Separately, the SEBI has reconstituted its technical advisory committee that recommends measures for changes and improvement in the market structure given the technological changes. Okay, it's a seven-member committee chaired by D.V. Pathak, former professor of IIT Bombay. So earlier this panel was a five-member panel. Let's move to the next news, that is rupees 3,000 crore via Basel III bonds. So what is important is Bank of BOB, Bank of Baroda has raised, means it will raise rupees 3,000 crore by issuing Basel III compliant bond in one or the more tranches. The capital raising committee of the bank in a meeting, so there is a meeting that has been approved. Okay, and using this money, it will comply with the Basel III norms, right? That's it, and that is why it is known as Basel bond. Let's say gold bond. Now, what is gold bond? So bond that is where the the center theme is gold. Okay, so here it's about Basel 3 and that's why it's known as Basel 3 bond. It may sound complex, but it is not that complex. But as a person who is preparing for the examination, you should know what is Basel 3 norms. Who gives it? Okay, why, when, okay, and what. You should know all these things. If you do not know, do not forget to mention it in the comment section. Next video will be on the Basel 3 norms, but only given condition is that you should be commenting it that yes, even if one person comments, there has to be a video that will come out in our YouTube channel. So let's move forward. Ayushman CPF, right? So see, what is this? This is a scheme launched by the Home Minister Shri Amit Shah. Okay, and how he has launched? He has launched by handing a Ayushman CPF card, Central Armed Police Force card, to a NSG commando, right? And also he has given the card to the Director General of NSG, okay, which comes under the Home Ministry. So this scheme is joint initiative of Ministry of Home Affairs and Ministry of Family Welfares, right? Now, what is the objective? His objective is to distribute 7.5 lakh health card to CAPF beneficiaries by December 21. However, the process of making health card was speeding up. Now all 35 lakh cards will be distributed to force personnel and their family members by December 21. Right? Let's move forward. MOU with Flipkart. See, this is very important news. Even if Flipkart is a private company, okay. So many a times what happens when you read through these current affairs, and current affair is a sea of information, and it is we completely agree that it is not possible for a person to remember everything, every detail, right? So when you see Flipkart, you tend to okay, it's our private company, let's move. No, this is very important, right? So very important. Why? Let's see this. Flipkart is an Indian homegrown e-commerce, but it is no longer an Indian company. It is being 76%, I think, is being with the Walton family, okay, of the Walmart group, has signed a MOU with the Ministry of Rural Development of the Government of India for their ambitious Deen Dayal Antyodaya National Rural Livelihood Mission. What will happen? To help empower local businesses and self-help group, especially those that are led by women, by bringing them into the e-commerce world. Matlab, means if they are selling something, they will onboard it in the Flipkart and they are going to sell it. Right? So this is very big step towards the you know tribal people coming out into the national arena. Okay, so go through this, you will get to know. So this is okay under the Flipkart Samarth program. So Flipkart is a private company. It is again, they have some CSR, corporate social responsibility, and they run Flipkart Samarth program. Now what is that? To provide skilled underserved communities of craftsmen, weavers, artisans, and national market access through the Flipkart marketplace. This is very, very big step. Let's say I am a travel person and I weave something. Okay, maybe I weave a shawl that is unique from my area. Okay, but now I have that skill to build, but I don't have a skill how to sell it on the national platform. And also I do not understand, complexities around it. So Flipkart Samarth is a program that helps me out. And also by the arrangement of, Ministry of Tribal Affairs and with Flipkart through this MOU, the government and the Flipkart will push me with capacity building, and also my product will be, bought out to the national arena if that meets that quality standard. That's it. Right. So this is the background story. Rest, if you read it, you will get to know the content. Right. So now, MORD's NRLMA program. Let us understand it. Its outreach in 6768 block of 706 districts across 28 states and 6 union territories, 7.84 crore women mobilized into the 71 lakh SHG. Right? Very important. Let's move forward and sell bad debts early. So this is a committee by the former RBI Executive Director Sudarshan Sen, which has recommended banks to sell the NPAs or the future potential NPAs when they're in the early stage to the ARC, and let the ARC take them into the insolvency and bankruptcy process. मतलब कोई भी अगर एनपीए होगा या होने का चांस है तो बैंक उसको बहुत देर तक अपने पास ना रखे, because maybe bank do not have that proper mechanism, okay, to get that money back. ARC had that. So as per the committee suggestion by the RBI Executive Director Sudarshan Sen, the committee has said that banks should sell it in the early phase, so that and let the ARC people go into insolvency and bankruptcy court. And let us read. If a lender fails to comply with this requirement, it should be penalized 100% provisioning on the loan outstanding. The committee said banks more often than not sold vintage loan to ARC, and this made recovery and reviving business difficult, right? So there should be a penalty of penalizing the lender as well. Then, why this is done? Look, three data points will explain you. Bank and other investor could recover only 14.29% of the amount they lent in respect to stress assets sold to ARC between 3 and 4, 2012 and 13. About 80% of the recovery ARC made came through the deployment of measures of reconstruction that do not necessarily lead to revival of business. Very important. Therefore, bank must aim to sell stressed asset at an early stage, while the regulator must clarify on sales of all category of loan as a special mention account SMA less than 91 days overdue. Right? So bank must resolution plan for account worth rupees 100 crore or more. Sale of asset to ARC. If you read through it, you will understand. Okay, so again, we have put the information in this slide. Pause the video, go through it once. That's fine. Okay, so this is the, you can say, content for your descriptive, not for your objective. Objective material is done. Okay, let's say it's Finance Ministry floats 4-tier plan. For what? In the last week we have read about an accountability issue, and you can see the ex-SBI chairman has been arrested for selling. The police is saying the property is worth rupees 250 crore, but the bank had sold it in 25 crore. Why bank had sold it to the ARC? Because bank needed only 24 crore. Bank, the amount was pending, that was pending in the bank was just 24 crore. So bank sold it in 25 crore to ARC. Now it's ARC's duty, but the police is saying something different. Okay, and this is the reason why loan more than 50 crore the bank or the bank's officer are hesitating to give. Okay, why? Because of this issue, maybe in future it will become NPA and they will be questioned by the CBI, ED, and whatnot. Okay, so the finance ministry has come out with a 4-tier structure. Right? So there the ministry acknowledged that the terms staff accountability has a negative connotation among, that is what I told. Okay, so let's see what this is. So this is the 4-tier structure. Okay, if you read through this, you will understand. Okay, so let's move further in the news again. So this is a 10 point, sorry, not 4 point. This is a 10 points. So do pause the video and read through it once or twice. It would be more than enough. You don't have to remember everything, right? Then let's move further. RBI issues revised prompt corrective action framework. Okay. The RBI issued a revised prompt corrective action framework for banks to enable supervisory intervention in appropriate time. So this is the thing. Capital asset quality leverage will be the key area for monitoring in the revised area.